Alright, what's up everyone? My name is Sam, and today we're going to talk about the lovely coming out story that I have, that I lived through. Anyways, so I go to a church that, like, our family, like, runs the church, basically. So, my, like, distant cousin's wife brought one of her aunts, one of her, shit. I don't even know how to, like,
You're doing great,
describe
sweetie.
this. Anyways, let's just get to the chase. There's a girl that showed up one day, right? And, like, things, like, start leading up. Eventually, like, we started dating. And, like, we were keeping it on the DL because, obviously, like, we were going to church, like, you know? So, one day, like, my mom, like, calls me and she's like, I'm coming to pick you up. And I was like, okay, whatever. So then I find out that her aunt, which is really close to, like, all of our family, she found out about, like, us dating from, like, messages that we were sending or something. And so she proceeded to call my grandma, who is, like, the most, like, religious woman in the world. And so she calls my grandma, and then my grandma, like, starts texting me, and she's just, like, crazy, like, going wild. Like, she was so upset, like, so disappointed. And, like, she texted me and she was like, I can't talk to you right now, like, I am so disappointed, like, blah blah blah. Like, she basically, like, didn't talk to me for, like, 2 months. And then after she called my grandma, she called my mom, and my mom was, like, the one who was going to pick me up. So, like, I get in the car and my mom's like, so, like, I heard something from her aunt, and she is, like, telling me that you guys are dating, like, that you guys, like each other. And then, like, I was just, like, shocked. Like, I didn't think that, like, anyone would find out, like, blah blah blah. So we get home and, like, my mom, like, proceeds to talk to me, like, takes me to the room, and she basically was just saying, like, do you really think you're like this? Like, do you think God made you like this? Like, do you think this is normal? And, like, I was just scared and shocked, and I was like, no, I don't think this is normal. Like, I didn't think God made me like this. Just kind of, like, I didn't know how to react. Eventually, when my grandma started talking to me, well, actually, I went to go talk to her aunt, and she was like, yeah, like, I know this isn't like you. Like, I know she pressured you into it. Like, don't worry. Like, I know that's not you. And I was like, okay, like, who are you to tell me who I am? Like, you know, you don't know me like that. So then, when my grandma started talking to me again, she set up a meeting with me to go talk to the pastors of our church at a McDonald's, like, nearby. So then I go meet the pastors, and I don't really remember, like, much about it, but I remember that they were just, like, saying, like, we can help you get through this, like, we can help you, you know, with everything. And I was kind of like, I don't know what I need help with, but okay. So then after that, like, I never really went back to church. Like, I didn't really want to, just because, like, I felt like, I think I went back, like, once or twice after, and, like, I just felt like everyone was just, like, judging me, like, looking at me weird. And, like, I remember, like, she went to church too while I was there, and then, like, we were, like, separated, and, like, they made sure that, like, she was surrounded so that we, like, wouldn't look at each other. Like, it was just this weird thing that, like, was so unnecessary that, like, just, like, took off. Okay, now moving on to my dad's side. So fast forwarding 2 years later, I never told my dad. Basically, we all kept it from him. We didn't want to tell him just because we were, like, we didn't know how he was going to react. Because my family, like, pretends to be really religious, but they're really not. So I had gotten kicked out for some reason. Like, he was like, go live with your mom, blah blah blah, and I was like, okay. So I remember being, like, really upset and, like, really confused. So what I did was I typed out a letter basically telling my dad that, like, I'm gay, and that, like, obviously, like, I've kept it from him for this long, and I've told him that my mom and my grandma knew. I left my stepmom out for obvious reasons because I didn't want him to get mad at her, but yeah, so I typed it up, and then once I left, when he wasn't there, I left the note sitting on the couch. So story goes, my stepmom told me that he read it in the living room. He like put it down and then like he went to the bathroom and like he just started crying, basically. So I was still at my mom's for a couple days and I wanted to go back home just because like I've always lived with my dad. And so I texted my stepmom. I was like, okay, is it like all clear for me to come home? Like, am I allowed to? She's like, yeah, your dad's still kind of like worked up, but you'll be fine. And I was like, okay. So then I go home. When I get home, like my dad like completely ignores me, like doesn't make eye contact with me, doesn't say hi to me, doesn't, for the next 3 to 4 days, I don't really remember. He didn't talk to me. He didn't have dinner with me. He didn't like ask me any questions, say goodnight, say good morning, like nothing. No contact whatsoever. So then finally, like one day, I don't really remember this day very well, but one day he calls me into the living room and I was like, okay, he's finally gonna talk to me, like blah, blah, blah. And he just sits me down and kind of says, it shocked me, like, I'm, like, obviously upset because this is not what I wanted for my daughter. Like, I wanted her to have kids and, like, I wanted to walk her down the aisle, and I was like, you can still do that. Like, it's not like I'm, like, not capable of doing those
It's not
things.
like you're not a human.
Exactly. And, I mean, like, yeah, it was just like, why would you think that I can't do those things? And then he just kept going on, and then basically the moral of it was he said, like, it's going to take a while to get used to, and it's going to take a while for me to accept it, but I'll work on it. Like, I'm going to work on it. And it was kind of okay. Like, it was more of, like, I got closure because I finally, like, knew what he was thinking and, like, his side of it, which was, like, luckily it was a good thing, even though it didn't feel like it was a good thing. It was a good thing. Last is my amazing talk with my grandma, my dad's mom. So, one night my dad got really drunk. Basically, like, that's how my grandma found out that I was gay. He got really drunk and, like, was talking about me being gay with my grandma. So then my grandma texted me one day and she's like, hey, do you want to come over? Come talk to me. Like, I want to talk to you about something. I was like, okay. Like, this is a good sign. Like, I knew that she knew that I was gay, but she never really confronted me about it. So I was like, okay, like, maybe she's going to, like, talk about it today. Maybe she's going to, like, want to hear my side. So I go over to her house, and, like, for, like, 20 minutes, she kind of just, like, pushes it off. Like, oh, like, how are you doing? How's school? Are you ready for your senior year? Blah, blah, blah. I was like, yeah, it's good. Like, I was just waiting for her to get to the point. So then finally, she just, like, eases into it, like, super weirdly. She was like, so I heard some news that I'm not very happy about.
You're pregnant.
And I was like, yeah, I'm pregnant. She was like, I heard that, you're dating a girl. I heard that you like girls. And I just want to say that I don't agree with that at all. I'm not going to support you at all. I never want to see you with a girl. I'm never going to support you being with a girl, basically. And then she proceeded to go on and, like, talk about her relationship, like, her past relationship with my grandpa and, like, how they divorced and, like, everything that went down with that. And basically was like, you should just be single. You should just go explore. Like, don't feel like you need to be tied down. And, like, obviously she knew how long we were dating for already because me and Allie were already, like, a year in. And so basically that was it, too. She was like, don't get attached. Don't get, like, be like Gilbert. Like, be like him. He's out in college, like, single, having fun. And I was like, not everybody's, like, made for that, yo. Like, what if I don't want to? So then
She was just taking her experience and her hurt and bringing it upon you. And that doesn't apply to you.
It was, like, unnecessary.
Every single person.
It was, like, I feel like she was trying to give advice off of her own hurt. So, yeah, she basically was just, like, maybe something's wrong with you. Maybe something's wrong with your head. Like, maybe you should go to the doctor or something. Basically, like, saying that, like, there's probably something mentally wrong with me. And after she had said that, like, I didn't really, like, listen to any more of the story just because I was like, like, how do you say that to your grandchild? Like, this is your family, like, somebody who's supposed to, like, love you and take care of you. Like, it was just really a shock to me. So it was like the fourth worst thing that can happen to you if you came out to your family. But luckily, like, I don't really, like, care what she thinks. I only have, like, really, like, 4 people who I care what they think, and they're all okay with it, so that's all that mattered to me. Right now, life is pretty good. I mean, my dad's getting slowly used to it. My stepmom loves Allie. My family loves, well, my mom, my grandma like Allie. But all in all, yeah, it's better. It's getting better. Eventually, you don't really talk to the people that you think matter the most to you. And at the end of the day, you're going to come home to whoever you love and whoever you care for. You're not going to come home to your family who's going to, judge you every day. And it's like, oh, no, you're not going to talk to them that much. And that's okay. If they don't want to be in your life, then that's their loss. But, yeah, it can be hard. There's 2 sides. Your family can either go good or bad, or it doesn't really matter. As long as, like, the person
all that matters is if you know that, like, you're okay and, like, nothing's wrong with you and you're fine. Just be confident in who you are.
Right? And luckily I have a partner who, like, her family is, like, so loving to me, and, like, and, like, even, like, with her support, it's like that, it just made it that much better. Whereas, like, sometimes you come out and you don't have, like, a partner to support you with. But don't think that you need somebody to make you stronger. It just kind of helps a little bit more for me, I guess. But yeah, it gets better. Life's good. Just keep on trucking. You'll be fine. And if anything, use that as your motivation to just take off in life and just leave everyone behind with a big old middle finger in their face. Because all in all, it's your life. It's not their life. Live it to whatever you want to live it up to.